is showing right now in this game.
With a first down, they'll snap it from the 32. The defense wouldn't let him loose there, and it was a completion, but they lost yardage. That's the end of the quarter, and UCLA has the lead. And after that first quarter, let's see if these guys can get back in the game in the second. And the Aggies with a long way to go after the loss on the last play. The run inside. It's Owens. Defense closed down quickly after a gain of 3. They'll mark it at the 32.
And, man, the big fellas up front, they don't get a lot of credit. They don't get talked about a lot unless it's negative, but they're the big component, man. They've got to get some push, to get some running lanes, get this running game going. They're the ones that make it go.
Third and long coming up. Throwing Reed. He's going for the big play. And this is dropped. Incomplete pass. He had a huge gain in his fingers and he couldn't hold on. The Aggies send out the punt team to kick it away. Getting our first look of the afternoon at the punter. On the return. And they'll get him on the ground as the offense comes out to start the next drive. The UCLA offense is back on the field, ready to go to work. On that last drive, defense had no idea what was happening, run or pass, and it wound up in the end zone, Jesse.
Yeah, you saw the experience in this offense that last drive, too, on that touchdown. Everybody on the same page. These guys have repped these plays over and over in practice and in games, and it's working, David.
Yeah, so I got to find a way to disrupt it. I got to find a way to maybe be more aggressive, maybe blitz, mess up this rhythm they got going.
Second and long here. These little gains can start to add up as he gets it up to the 34. It's third down from their own 34 as they try to keep the drive moving. Making the adjustment on the play. From the gun on third down, Iamaleava. That pass is well off target. He got hit as he was trying to throw, and they can't convert on third down.
Defense did a great job. Third and short on the opponent's side of the field. They're expecting quick throw. Everybody, they dug their heel in the ground. They're able to break on the ball, force the incompletion.
And the offense with no intention to draw the defense off sides. They want to run on fourth down. Looking for the marker. They'll knock him down, and he moves the sticks, and the fourth down decision pays off big time. In your own territory, fourth down, no problem at all. They just go for it again.
What about you, Reese? Are you going for that?
Yeah, man. The Bruins with the 1st and 10. Shakes off the defender. He makes the stop at the 43-yard line. It's a pickup of 15, and they've got it in plus territory. And the Bruins are moving quickly down the field. Got some green grass. There he goes. Gets it all the way inside the 20-yard line to the 19. Bruins pounded the rock to move the sticks, now back to work. Iamaliava hauls it in. They stop him just a link or two short of the first, and man, what they can do on second down here. This time he doesn't get loose, and finally the defense gets him bottled up behind the line. And the Bruins really need to keep this drive alive on third down. Plows through the defense. And he gets it inside the 10-yard line. They'll mark it at the 9 where it'll be first and goal.
And I'm not surprised with the run, and I'm not going to be surprised if they run it again, right? This offense now set up. They've put a drive together. First and goal. Who can be more physical? The line of scrimmage is critically important when the field starts to shrink. Let's see who can bow up and make a play here.
The Bruins trying to cash it in on first and goal. Trying to move the pile into the end zone. He'll be stopped at the 2.
And I'm good with it. I like what the offense is doing. Be physical. I don't need to get pass happy down here on first and goal. Nice job believing in my running game, and maybe I stick to it for another play or two.
Boy, if that first down play was any indication, they might walk this thing in on second and goal. They'll try to power it in. And he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, Bruins.
Now, after starting the season 0-1, this offense felt like they just left plays on the field in that first game. But so far today, they're taking advantage. QB's making good decisions. Guys are stepping up. They've limited the mental mistakes. They haven't turned the football over. It's a different-looking offense here in Game 2.
He'll bring it out. It's Warren. He's brought down at the 16. Would have been much better off to take the touchback. They take over late and they have enough time to put together a drive. Here's the give off the left side. Knocked down at the 26 after ripping off 10 there.
When the running back gets going and gets ahead of steam like that, so hard to get to the ground. That's why you blitz. That's why you bring pressure. That's why you bring more guys in the box so you can get him before he gets going. But once he got going, you could tell it was hard to get a hand on him, hard to get him to the ground.
Straight ahead, it's Owens. Picked up maybe 3 on the play at 2nd and 7.
Winning first down is such a big deal on defense, like getting them in more predictable situations, more passing situations. Nice job not giving up a lot of run after contact on that first down.
A lot of ground to cover, and they need a chunk here on second down. Sees an alley. A solid pickup there, works it to the 38 before being pushed out of bounds.
You love to see this on offense. Early in drives, getting that kind of yardage keeps you ahead of the chains.
The Aggies will have it 1st and 10. Reed. Back's got it on the screen. At midfield, he's got room. Turning it on. The 20. Touchdown, Aggies. Nice catch and good work afterwards to get it into the end zone. PAT unit on the field. And after the extra point, they've cut the lead in half, down 14-7. The officials stop play as they come out to tend to this injured Bruin. And it'll come out to the 25. No attempt at a return. They'll put this one in play. First snap of the drive from the 25. Doesn't find any room whatsoever here late in the half. The Bruins call timeout. It's their first. They'll have 2 left to work with before the half. Didn't get much done on that first play of the drive. It's 2nd and 11. Throwing, Imaliava. And the quarterback is knocked down back at the 13. Timeout taken here by the Aggies. That'll be their first. They'll have 2 left to work with before the half. This defense has kept them backed up. Now 1 more stop, and they can get off the field on 3rd and long. From the gun on 3rd down, Imaliava. Going for the big play. And trying to put points on the board on 3rd down. Now they're staring at 4th down.
Well, the defense finally has figured it out. That was critical for their confidence because they had been scored on earlier. They had given up a ton of yards. I think they understood the gravity of the situation. 3rd down, that was critical for them to get off the field, build momentum, build some confidence. Nice job that time by the defense.
They booted away. Not a lot of room to make this catch. He'll be guided out of bounds, but not before a nifty return on that one. Just enough time for one final play of the half. Here's Reed to throw. They're all over it. And here's a fumble way behind the line. He picks up the fumble, but they'll blow it dead right there. And remember, at this stage of the game, the only person who can advance a fumble for the offense is the fumbler. First half in the books. Time now to join Kevin Connors in our halftime update.
Fellas, welcome into our EA Sports Studios here in Orlando, the Week 2 edition of our college football update show. We begin our coverage with Alabama taking on the number 6 team, the Penn State Nittany Lions. And it's the Crimson Tide sneaking out of here with an upset victory. And have to see how the rankings shake up following this outcome. This will push them to 2-0 on the season. Here now some other games you may have interest in, and social media has some sharp opinions about the state of things right now.
And I think this has probably been the most surprising thing of this game so far. This guy's one of the best running backs in the entire country. They just can't get him going. He's never been able to get into a rhythm. You got to give the defense so much credit because they have been able to shut this guy down. And they got to keep that up here in the second half.
Taken down. Here comes the noise, backing this defense on 3rd down. On the option. Now the pitch. Crosses the 30, he's got to lay it. And he's brought down, and he just about took it all the way. How about the timing on the pitch from this quarterback on the option? Texas A&M back to work with another 1st down. Got a little space. Pickup of 8. It's now 2nd and 2. Got 8 on 1st down. Now looking at a 2nd and 2.
And you're seeing the offense now mix up the tempos. After a successful run, they're now going hurry up.
Oh, he's got some space. And he's tackled, stopped at the 14. They'll move the chains. They've got a 1st down in the red zone.
And this defense, man, they've got to find some answers. They've been less physical than the offense. They've owned the line of scrimmage. They're running the football, putting a drive together. All right, now in the red zone, field shrinking. How do they handle this situation? Bring more bodies, be more physical, be more aggressive.
And the Aggies back to the line on first down. Let's see if they keep leaning on this running game. They didn't get a push at all on that one. It'll be no gain on the play. Operating in the red zone here on second down. This quarterback part of their running game. He's stopped for no gain again. Back-to-back runs, and they have nothing to show for it except facing a third and long. This crowd rising up, sensing that its defense needs some help. They'll go with a direct snap. A big third down stop by this defense, but they are still in field goal range.
And this defense has got to be jacked up, man. They've finally forced the fourth down, right? They've gotten a couple of first downs, got some things going, but I think it's decision time for this offense. And this D's got to do it one more time, right? They've got to get another play, a big fourth down stop here to get some of that momentum and get the football back.
And no chance at a return here. They'll start this drive at their own 25. The Bruins offense makes its way onto the field, hoping to get things going here. They really didn't move the ball at all the last time they had it, and hoping for better fortune this time around. Works ahead for a couple. They'll stop him at the 27.
And what's the closest guy to the football, man? It's those defensive tackles, and those guards and centers have to work together. They got to get those guys and get some movement. They don't on this play, and the big fella eats. Nowhere to go. When you run into him, you usually meet the ground.
After picking up a couple, it's 2nd and 8. He's changing the play. Here's Iamaleava to throw. Escapes the pressure to his right. Takes a hit as he fires. And they're not quite in rhythm there. It's incomplete.
Man, if I'm the offensive line, I got to do a better job initially protecting my quarterback. And then once he scrambles out of that pocket, he starts to go to the left, I got to stick with the play because then he gets whacked at the end of the play. And instead of helping my quarterback up, I got to make sure I protect him a lot better moving forward.
Third down conversion's always a huge stat, and they've got a 3rd and long from the 27. From the gun on 3rd down, Iamaleava. Another incompletion on 3rd down.
And, man, you got to love the way the defense just took this field. Like, offense scores, cuts into the lead, and they had some juice, some energy, flying around, being physical, everybody getting to the football, and now forcing the punt and a chance to give the ball back to their offense to do some damage.
Opening snap of this drive comes from the 31-yard line. On the ground, it's Owens. They get him at the 42, but he picked up 10 there. The Aggies are in the hurry-up.
And the offense with a nice run, breaks off a little bit of run, gets a first down. Oh, and here they go again. First down, you've seen this. They like to go fast.
Creating some space, getting just enough good blocking, and they've got it up to the 47-yard line.
Man, it's nice when you can depend on your big boys up front to make a lane, and you get 5 or 6 yards. You get 5 or 6 yards a pop. You move the ball down the field easily, and more importantly, can get this defense to be more aggressive, to bring DBs close to the line of scrimmage.
Snags it, and there's running room. The 40. They ripped off a big one, and they get it down to the 27. him, comes back out with another first down. Give him a pickup of 2, now 2nd and 8.
And I think offense is showing they are willing to run the football, even if they don't get big gains. Just those body blows that can sometimes wear out a defense and keep the balance on offense so I can be explosive.
That's the end of the period, and it's UCLA in the lead. And we've reached the end of the 3rd, and time is running out if they're going to cut into this deficit. Let's take a look at our game stats before we move on. 1 more quarter to play. It looks as if we are ready to go here in the 4th. And a chance to mull things over, and let's see how they start the final period here on 2nd down. Still looking to his right. They make the stop, but what a job on the scramble to get loose and pick up that first down.
Talk about saving your best when the moment is the biggest. Nice job in the 4th quarter. Been grinding all day.
They've got a first down here. What a start it's been to this season. We've got a great game here. Close ball game, 4th quarter. Couldn't ask for anything more. He'll be hauled down just inside the 10 at the 9 as they're trying to turn this into a score.
The defense wins that one, and the offensive line was challenged by their coaching staff coming into this game to try and get push up front and establish the line of scrimmage. They're going to have to do a better job running than that if they're going to win this one.
Dragged down at the 6 after a pickup of 2.
And I think this is the part of the field where your alert should go up. Like, the radar should go up. These touch passes, like, to get to the perimeter. You've got the middle really secure with bigger bodies and more people in the box. So, nice job by this defense, seeing the ball spit out wide to a playmaker, being ready for it, and getting him on the ground.
Tight quarters deep in the red zone, but they can pick up a first down without scoring. 3rd down. They've got the lead here in the 4th. Lining up to tack one more onto that lead. And the extra point puts them up by a field goal. A 69-yard touchdown drive, and he got into the house from the 6 to finish it. And it'll come out to the 25. No attempt at a return. UCLA will go back to work on offense. And now, after being stymied for this entire 2nd half, they must put a scoring drive together here and answer that last touchdown. Fires downfield. Right side, it's Grove. And he was off to the races, and he gets it to the 45.
And what a huge play for the offense. Hitting that throw not only is big for their confidence, but it also flips the field.
And the Bruins come to the line on the heels of that big pass play. He's going to change things up against this defensive look. Iamaleava. Here comes the heat. Just couldn't find an open man. He'll get rid of it, and it'll be 2nd down. Couldn't make the connection last time. Let's see if they throw it again. Dropping back, it's Iamaleava. grab behind the line. It's Grove. No, sirree, not this time. The defense was there and ready for that one.
I don't love the play call at this juncture in the game. You're down. You've got to take shots. The defense is not going to be blitzing, so these screens probably aren't going to work.
And while that last pass was complete, it's left them in an even worse situation on third down. Moves to his right. Turns it upfield. That's not quite going to be enough as they stop him 4 yards short of the marker. Down a possession here in the fourth, and they'll need to convert on this fourth down. Nico Iamaleava throwing again. Stepping to the right. Unleashes one. Makes a catch. First down and maybe a lot more. He's brought down, but there's a flag on the play. Let's see if it stands. So they'll decline the penalty. Pleased with the results of that last play. This offense has a 1st and 10. They are flat bailed out by the defensive penalty. Going to audible here. Let's see what they do. Throwing. Iamaleava. Pulls it in. Makes the catch, but goes no further, and it'll be a short pickup on that one.
You just get the feeling this defense is going to make it hard on them, right? They've got the lead. It's late, and they're going to try to tackle everybody inbounds. Offense is going to have to really work for this and be smart. You got to attack the sidelines. You got to throw first downs. You got to keep this thing moving vertically down the field.
He'll be dragged to the ground, but it'll be a first down. The Bruins come to the line with a fresh set of downs. Here's Iamaleava to throw. Dumps it to the back. He's got it on the run. Touchdown, Bruins! And they've moved out front here in the fourth. On to attempt the try. And the extra point is good, and every point counts. It's now a 4-point lead in the fourth. Coming out with it, it's Warren. He'll be stopped short of the 20-yard line on the return. They'll mark him at the 19. As Holly mentioned earlier, this crowd trying to give its defense some energy in a clutch spot. Reed. Look out! Setting up the screen. Breaks into the open. And he gets it up to the 36. It'll be a first down.
And there you go. You see, you don't have to throw bombs to get big plays in the passing game. Just screen it to your running back. As soon as he catches it, he gets upfield. And how about the downfield blocking by these linemen and the wide receivers as they rip off that explosive play.
That's a way to give yourself some breathing room. Now the second play of the drive from the 36. Keeps it moving. It's Owens. Stopped after a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. Sprinting to the line to try to get this one off. Clock's running. Just feeds the running back. There's some room. He's at the 40. Running inside the 20. Touchdown, Texas A&M. And with that, they move out front here in the fourth. They'll try to tack on an extra point here deep in the game. And he knocks it through, and the lead is a field goal here in the fourth quarter. quick strike offense on that three-play scoring drive. And the scoring play came on a 61-yard touchdown run. And no chance at a return here. They'll start this drive at their own 25. The drive starts from their own 25-yard line. And he's brought down after a short gain.
You wonder about the mindset right now of the offensive coordinator, too, because they need points, and running the football just is not going to get it done. Early in the drive, late in the drive, I think you've got to be in attack mode right now throwing.
Long way to go on second down. Quarterback changing the play. Iamaleava. He's got it. Good, solid pickup on that one. They've got it out to the 40, and it's first down.
And the offense here dialed up a really good zone beater. Give credit to the offensive coordinator. He called the right play at the right time.
Remember, all they have to do is get it close enough for a field goal here. A deep throw as the clock winds down. And it goes through his hands. Oh, he had an explosive play right there for the taking, but couldn't reel it in.
Well, they don't connect on that throw, but you're seeing the 2-minute drill live and in full effect for this offense, something they practice each and every single week, looking for the sidelines, using the clocks, understanding the timeout situation. But these are plays they feel like they can run in their sleep to put themselves in position to kick a field goal here late.
Throwing, Iamaleava. Left side is Glow. He's brought down quickly. Minimal gain there. Still a bit short of the first down. The Bruins call timeout. It's their first. And they'll still have 2 timeouts left for the rest of this game. Got to get everybody lined up quickly. Time winding away, and they've got to push the ball down the field. They'll move the wide receiver. Again, it's Iamaleava. Can't hang on after the hit, and it'll be fourth down.
And you got to expect this offense to go for it again here on fourth down, right? Obviously trailing, we're in the second half, but we saw them try to go for it on fourth down early. Didn't have any success. They've got to dial up a better play here.
It's a one-score game late, and they've got to go for it on fourth down. They're changing things up, trying to get everyone set. They'll send the back in motion. Fourth down, Iamaleava. It's incomplete, and they desperately needed to keep that drive going, and they couldn't make the connection.
And I don't know what happened at halftime, but man, did this defense play night and day different. They got it together, and really, they gave so much momentum to their offense by continuing to get stops, playing totally different with energy, with passion. Palmer, it's a clinic from first half to second half to what this defense just did.
Yeah, kudos to the coaching staff, too, for the adjustments they were able to make at halftime and showing a couple of different looks here in the second half. But at the end of the day, it's about the Jimmies and the Joes on the field. Those guys were winning their one-on-one matchups defensively, shutting this offense out. And you're right, David, night and day, and that's why they're winning this game.
Timeout called by the defense. 23 seconds left on the clock.
Really nice job stopping the run, but the problem is you have 0 timeouts left. You cannot stop the clock right now if you're the defense, so this has got to be excruciating for them. They know the offense is just going to take their time before they snap the ball.
It's one thing to execute early in the game. tight ball game, right at the end, you need the clutch plays. These guys deliver.
You can't teach that gene. You have people that can focus in the moment or they can't. Great job by the team, staying focused, understanding it's a close battle, win those one play at a time, and then look up, and then, heck, I got the win.
Yeah, David, they just had ice in their veins, and you can tell there's tremendous leadership on this football team. Guys can step up, and in the huddle, they can make sure that everybody else is focused to the task at hand in order to get the W.
This has been a presentation of EA Sports College Football. For David Pollack, Jesse Palmer, and Holly Rowe, I'm Reese Davis saying goodbye, everybody.